I'll introduce Zak.
Okay.
I'm on the board at COCC. We're lucky at COCC to have Zak as one of our senior leadership team members. He is doing great things for the college. He is part of the foundation, and the foundation collects enough funds to give $2 million in scholarships every year to students who deserve a step up in their education. And he's leading the search for our new president. Lori's retiring, and we need to find another one. Very important thing. Without a great leader, you just don't move forward in a cohesive way to really keep things working well and to support your vision. And Zak is just a really smart guy that really just knows how to make everything happen, and he works really hard. He's going to talk to us about the Madras campus and hopefully a little bit about what we're doing to look at expanding in Redmond. And so thank you, Zak, and welcome to Kiwanis.
Thank you. I appreciate letting me leave my coat on. I think we've gone from AC to heat, maybe, so
Yes.
And I don't have any wear, as you can see. So I have to say at first, I know there's not a microphone here, but if you need me to speak up, just tell me and I'll yell a little louder. My grandfather, Zak Boone, who passed away about 12 years ago, was a lifetime Kiwanian. So that's an honor, I think, that's bestowed by Kiwanis once you've reached a certain threshold. So he had a big plaque. He was a Lion, a Kiwanian, and a Rotarian. So I'm a, hold on, which bell is it? I'm a Rotarian, so I'll pay my happy dollars for that later. If you ever want to have breakfast in Bend, 6:45 a.m., come visit our Mount Bachelor Club. We'd love to have you. But I do always think about my grandpa when I think about Kiwanis, and he wore his name tag proudly, and I went when I was probably 4 or 5. This was in Lincoln City. So I've been to Kiwanis meetings, but it's been a long time, so thanks for having me. I am going to talk a little bit about our Madras campus expansion. Again, if I'm looking at my phone, it's just to stay on time and not run over for you all. We are doing some work on our Redmond campus, so I'll just start with where Alan left off. Our MATC program, our Advanced Manufacturing, is going through a renovation and remodel. Amy Ward, who is our campus director at Redmond, many of you know Amy, she will be back in a few months to present that plan. We just had board approval last month, as Alan knows, to advance the plan. So when we have a little bit more meat on the bone, that's a really exciting project, and we're excited to be doing more than one thing at the college. Expanding our Redmond campus is definitely a priority and something we're looking forward to. But today I'm here to talk about our Madras campus expansion. The college, as you know, is a massive district, so all 17 community colleges in Oregon operate in a geographic area. So our district is the largest in the state, which means we have to cover about 100,000 square miles to serve our students. One of those places, obviously, is in Madras. We have campuses in Madras and in Bend, obviously, in Prineville, and then again in Redmond. So we're going to talk about this expansion today, which is a pretty ambitious project. So the expansion is, I'll go through the program details first. Also, interrupt me if you have any questions in the meantime. We can do Q&A, but I like the conversation part. It's a 24,000 square foot addition. There will be 2 levels. On our lower level, we're going to have our Early Learning Workforce Development Center and Child Care Center with 100 child care slots. This is kind of a game changer for the college to be involved in that sort of work. We're building the facility for child care in our Early Childhood Ed program. The Children's Learning Center will run it. As Alan well knows, the board has been very clear that we do not run child care facilities as a community college. We know partners can do that better, but they needed some space. They really needed to grow, and we're happy to have that a part of the center to really serve the community. There's a 3-year wait for child care right now in Jefferson County. 3 years. And so imagine if you're trying to get back into the workforce, you're just trying to get out of the house or all those things. You guys know what that means. You're relying on grandparents and friends and all the things. If we can open up some of those slots for the community, not just for our students, we think it'll really be a game changer, and the community's been really receptive to that. We'll also have 4 degree programs specific to the Madras campus. Early childhood education, so that's a lot of your child care providers and early learning leaders, that's that degree. Nursing program, we're expanding our nursing program, which is it's a flagship program at the college and has been for decades. Nursing assistant and medical assistant are also going to be added as discrete programs. We've heard time and again, not just in Jefferson County, but in Deschutes County and Crook County, the shortage of nurses. It extends to nursing assistants, medical assistants. I'm sure you all know, trying to get an appointment, trying to see those providers is getting harder and harder, especially in rural communities. So we're thrilled to be able to offer these programs. So students in Madras and Jefferson County, and frankly anywhere go there for those programs, they don't have to go to the Bend campus. That's really huge for Madras. especially on a January night, as you can imagine, trying to drive into night class. That's just not safe. So we're really excited to have that. Of course, our transfer degrees, which are kind of the bread and butter of community colleges, if you get that 2-year degree because you want to go on to Oregon State or Oregon or Western Oregon, those will always be a part of that. Those are also available in the new campus. They'll have lab sciences also. We're building 2 state-of-the-art laboratories in the new expansion. So right now, let's say you live in Madras and you're getting your biology degree or your transfer degree because you want to go on to Oregon State. You still have to come to Bend to get those lab requirements because the Bend campus is the only place that has those big labs. We're building 2 in Madras, so now students across the district, whether they're in Culver or Shantico or in Redmond or Prineville or Culver, can actually go to Madras to meet those requirements. They don't have to go to Bend. They could, but now they have 2 options, and we really think that's important to have that option in the northern part of the district and also then on the Bend campus. So again, we're looking here. This is us. This is a bit of our district here. You all know that. So what this map is just really trying to show you is why did we choose these programs for Madras? We could have done ag science. We could have done all sorts of things, but why these programs? The severe nursing, nursing assistant, and medical assistant shortage, especially in rural areas. So this map really just shows that the darker the region, the larger the shortage. That's really what it shows. So again, you can see our more rural counties on the north coast and in the center of the state really suffer in these jobs and not having enough graduates out there to serve. Southern Oregon, a little bit with Medford, and the hospital system has been more productive, and of course in the northern Willamette Valley, they just have more folks. So we want health career students to obtain that living salary, provide stepping stones to higher paying jobs in their community, also prevents what we call brain drain, right? You've probably heard that term. We want students that want to stay in Jefferson County to stay in Jefferson County and not have to go somewhere else for a higher paying job. And then the health careers, again, why are we doing this new building? There's a lack of access to this for the rural community and surrounding areas. We need in-person skills labs to practice, right? We've got to do this hands-on work before you can go out into the workforce. Again, reduce travel and associated costs with driving to Bend, that's huge. I mean, we can't say that enough. And nursing students typically attend college and work in the community they attend. So again, let's build this in this place. Let's have homegrown talent. Let's keep folks there. It builds community resiliency too. If you're growing up in Madras and you know you have an option to stay in your community and get a great job and have a high wage job, that's a game changer. That's how we start to build back rural resiliency in the college's view. This is a tough graph to see probably from where you are, essentially just showing that the percent of students who attended high school in that region and then the percent that are working in the same region after community college, and there's a big gap in the East Cascades because people go elsewhere once they have those degrees to work. We're trying to tighten that up and keep folks home. The health careers, again, just a little bit more about this. We need 1,065 nursing shortages that was estimated in 2020 to meet workforce demand. COCC can't do that alone. We're trying to do our part. Again, we have a lot of nurses retiring, and we have 25% of RNs leave healthcare employment after 3 years, and 50% leave after 10. So again, just making the case of why we're expanding these programs. I won't go through all those points directly. This video is probably not going to show, but I'll send it back out maybe to the club. I'd love to share it. I was trying to get it to load today, and then I won't even worry. I'm not a tech-savvy person, despite my youthful good looks. I leave that to my 18-year-old, and she's not here. But there's a great video that talks about why we're doing these programs, and talks to students and talks to our providers. So I might just send that back out if you guys would like to take a look. Okay, so why are we adding what we call ECE, or early childhood education? Again, early childhood ed requires high-quality care, professional development, a higher educational institutional commitment to that, and pathways for folks to go in to be teachers, certification, all those things. So we are committed, and Alan knows this, although I won't test him, to professional development throughout higher education, right across this area. We're trying to bring as many grant opportunities and regional partnerships to create access to these degrees and certificates, and offering courses and degrees aligned with student needs and timing. So weekend classes, evening classes, sections taught in Spanish, etc. Just trying to make sure we're what we call a student-ready college, so that we're able to take students on and meet their needs. And that can be really challenging. The average age of a community college student at COCC is 26. It's not 18, it's not 10, it's 26. So most of the time these are folks that are coming back to school after a little bit of time out, maybe returning for the service, maybe raised a couple kids. We actually have the highest number of veteran students of any community college in Oregon. So again, just trying to dispel some of those myths that these are 18-year-olds coming out of high school. We have lots of those folks too, but we actually are a little bit more diverse in our age. So by offering those courses and degrees along with that timing, we can really meet those needs. And then again, we have commitments to early learning on early literacy, STEM, and early intervention that we're committed to, and those services are often left out in rural communities. So we wanted to be the folks that said, hey, we're committed to this, we're here for the long haul, and that's why this program was part of the offering. So this Children Learning Center partnership, so again, childcare is such a barrier for folks to get back to work, to create meaningful employment opportunities. If you've got kids that coming out of school, raise your hand if you've helped either raise your kids or help with the grandkids. Right? I think everyone, or you know someone who does. Yeah, it's a team effort. It's a team effort. Well, we just want to be part of the team. And the Children's Learning Center has been in Madras for 35 years. They run a great facility. They do the Head Start program. They do all of the wonderful work they do. The college wants to support that. But we also need to train the next generation of leaders in this area, so it's a cool setup. On your table, you'll see these brochures. They say Growing Together on them. They have information about the project. What's really nifty is there are these two-way mirrors that will allow our students to observe what's going on in the child care center without being a part of that, and then go back into the classroom and learn. It's a really cool model. We're really excited about it, and again, it's really set up to have that observation of developmentally appropriate practices, get them that on-site experience, give them new opportunities for employment, and then get direct feedback from partners as they're doing the work. So it's sort of a like, build it as you're going. You don't necessarily know what you know in early childhood ed until you have a group of 50 kids or 3-year-olds in your room. Then you say, oh, well, this is the skill set I need, or hey, we need to adjust this, or these kids now are food insecure, or out of COVID, right? All these things come up, so having it on-site with our students really allows for that to sort of be organic as it goes. So our goals for the overall expansion would be 88 graduates per year coming out of Madras just in these new programs. That's pretty sizable. So that's across those 4 programs. Our nursing program, the application, we already expect a wait list. We can only have 8 nurses per year, so a cohort of 8. So once we get it up and running, it'll be 16 graduates per year. But that's all that St. Charles can help us with. We need them for those clinical rotations. We need them for accreditation. We don't, as you know, have another huge hospital partner on this side of the Cascades. We'd love to grow that program more. We can only do it as St. Charles or other providers allow, but that's still, we think, a pretty good impact. 58 health career students, 30 in early childhood ed. And again, our COCC credit students, looking at the last academic year, we had 185 students seeking their transfer degree, and 106 that needed those 3 lab science courses that I talked about. They all had to come to Bend to get those. So 88 plus 185, that's going to take us to a whole new number in Jefferson County that we've just never seen before. And after the center opens, or the new expansion opens, we expect to have 26 full-time jobs between our COCC and child care facility, which is an important driver in the community as well. So who are our key program partners? This whole thing would not have been possible without the Bean Foundation. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the Bean Foundation. This is an organization that's been around in Jefferson County that has donated land for some important projects. The Aquatic Center, the middle school, the city park, and now both of the COCC buildings are on Bean Foundation land. Beautiful view, could have been developed kind of like the donation of land in Bend. Our campus sits on a pretty nice piece of property. The Coates family in the 1950s donated that. So I think those golf balls being done, I had that job. I had that job once. So that it's really important to have these partners. We wouldn't be anywhere without the Bean Foundation. It's about $1.5 million land donation that allowed us to have this conversation, go to the board, and expand these programs. St. Charles also is obviously a helpful partner for our nursing. Jefferson County School District has been critical in all this. Madras High School, we have high school students that are able to take classes at the college now and in the future and have that back and forth, and instructors that go back and forth. And our College Now program is where high school seniors can take classes at COCC and get college credit for them. Then if they go on to a 4-year school, they don't have to pay those tuition rates. They've already got those credits. It's a real game changer. The Children's Learning Center, obviously I've talked about that as the child care provider. Neighbor Impact has been hugely helpful with a child care grant. $1 million for this project came from Neighbor Impact and the work they do to continue to serve our students has been really helpful. And then the Jefferson County Commission and Commissioners were our co-applicant on lottery bond dollars that we applied for and received $4 million for this project. It was really the first big state allocation. Couldn't have done it without the Commission's support. So this is a little hard to see too, and this is in the folders you have. So this up here is our existing building. So this is, we're looking here west, and this will be the new building. So there'll be a little entrance, or a little walkway, excuse me, that goes from the existing building into the new building. The lower level is the child care facility. This is a nice play area for them. The upper level will be our classrooms and our labs. What's really lovely about this, not only does it double the size of the program, but we're building sort of a daylight basement. It's sort of the analogy I use, because the land is sloped here. So when the folks are coming in to drop off their little kids, they really will have that feel of a discrete child care center. But for our students, who their classes and their administrative offices are here, they'll go back and forth on what's essentially the second floor of the second building. It's the only floor of the first building. There are a lot of security considerations in this day and age for child care centers. Unfortunately, access is highly restricted. Security is a big issue. So we've had to build in, we say, to keep littles with littles and big with bigs. So even the students in the upstairs can't get downstairs without key fob access. It's just a rule we have. We just can't have anything happen to those little kids. Their safety is our priority. And in this day and age, unfortunately, there's some bad actors out there, so we've had to build that in, which has really added to the cost. This is a look of what it will be to stand in the front of the new building. Again, you're looking actually toward the northeast. So this will be the child care facility. And then upstairs is the COCC facility. And you can just sort of catch a glimpse of our existing building up there in the corner. Now we're looking at the existing COCC building and the new building. So this is what I was saying, this plaza is here. And students will be able to go seamlessly sort of from the first building into the second building. And then again, the child care center is below, as you can see the slope going around. And we, of course, put Mount Jefferson in there because it's sort of the signature. This is a portrayal of what the nursing simulation center looks like. So this is exactly what it looks like at St. Charles if you're in their area. So we build it to look exactly like what students are going to go experience when they're in the clinical setting. It's exactly what's in our Bend Nursing or Health Career Center, and that will be mirrored in the new Madras facility as well. Our construction timeline, in February of 24 of this year, we completed our construction documents. Kirby Nagelhut is our builder for this project, our CMGC, great partners. They've done a lot of projects for the college over the years. Of course, as a public agency, we go out for bid for that. Was really pleased to see that they ended up winning that. They've been just huge supporters of ours back to when Kirby himself was around. I've got some great stories of Kirby personally helping the college, but they're our CMGC. In late spring, we broke ground back in April. The construction is now in full swing. I probably should have dropped a picture in of that. I mean, it's so cool to see this thing coming out of the ground now for the first time. We will be doing interior finishes and furniture late summer of 25. Fall of 25 will be that final landscaping and parking lot, and then winter of 26 opening. This is the project cost is about $20 million. It started at 12. When we got that land donation, we thought, oh, we can do this. And then you all know what happened. Out of our control, it's okay. We're still committed to the project, but as the person leading the funding effort for this, I have to go back to funders and say, yeah, when we asked you for X, it was X, and now we're asking for Y because it's Y. The way we do that is just by being candid about it and sharing that information at board meetings. As Alan knows, we give updates every time. That price is locked in now. But I'll tell you, there was about 18 months when it just kept going up and we were getting bids and supply costs and all that sort of thing. And, but here we are. We have received or have committed $16.5 million. We have $1 million out in grant requests as we speak today. And then our capital campaign that will be led by the COCC Foundation that we're really up and running as of about this week. We're looking to raise $2.5 million from private philanthropy to sort of what we call a finish line to get us across the project. I will say, because construction has started and we have that timeline, the college, this campus is being built. It's happening. This project is going to be done. We're really excited about that. That sometimes can take the winds out of your fundraising sale if you go to somebody and say, hey, it's going to happen anyway, whether you give or not. What we want to do is have the cost be limited for our students and for the reserves that the college has. We want to raise every dollar we can that's available for this project so that we don't have to either raise tuition or go dip into reserves or use other accounts. And so we're pretty confident we can get there. At least I am. But this is the biggest project I've ever had to raise money for. Just go on from that. So this is the tag or the branding we put together. This is the campaign, Growing Together, Investing Careers, Community, and Care in Jefferson County. It's fun to do this work sometimes. We spend too much time on logos, as you probably know, but we thought that that logo was really nice. It sort of both connoted somebody maybe reading a book, if you see that, and it also the kind of Jefferson County agricultural tie-in with something maybe growing. So we're pretty pleased with how that came out, trying to keep it simple and also not spend too much time on that sort of thing. Our key committed funding partners, just a huge list. I wouldn't go anywhere without sharing this. We wouldn't be here without all of these folks. State of Oregon, the college's real estate fund. Thank our current senators, $3 million from the Department of Health and Human Services. The JTMF Foundation, Murdoch, Ford. We've had foundation bequests now that the foundation board has been able to allocate to this project. This is when somebody leaves money in their estate or will for the college. And if it's unrestricted, what I do is I go to my board and we talk about what the highest need is, and we usually do a split between scholarships and programs, and in this case, a capital campaign. So we're over $1 million in just 3 bequests. Neighbor impact, I talked about that earlier. Miller Lumber had a lumber yard there in Madras that they donated to the college to sell, to go right to this project. That was $410,000 total. Roundhouse Foundation, a huge partner of ours and sisters. You might know the Roundhouse Foundation. I think we should chat with this Alan about them in the senior center. I've got some thoughts. I know some folks there. And then private donor pledges to date, and then a Kai's Trust, which is a fund we hold at the college for this sort of thing. And then, of course, I talked about the Bean Foundation. There's the existing campus. It's beautiful. The new one will be right down here, but I just love to show that because it's just got such a great view. The Don Reader Room is a community use room that gets a lot of activity, and I'm just very proud of this project and what we're doing, and excited to be a part of it. I think community colleges, as we say, are one of those places in the country where hopefully folks can check whatever it is at the door and get to work for our communities and get to work for our folks, and I see that every day, and I really like hyper nonpartisan spaces like Rotary and City Club and the college, and I really mean that because I'm just kind of, the noise gets noisy. Let's focus on our students, let's focus on our communities, and let's focus on investing in these towns where folks just really want to get to work, and I love it. So pleased to be here and happy to answer any questions. Yes, sir.
The Child Care Center, this is something that obviously is awesome that you guys are doing. I've heard, I know the school district here in Redmond has the facility, it has the space, but they won't touch it. You know, you guys are, you know, intertwined with that. Was there a deciding factor? Can you just maybe elaborate on that? Because that's really surprising. It's very admirable with 3 kids and a wife who stays home with them for that reason. Yeah. The trailing spouse, as Alan calls her. I don't know where she is today, but it's kind of funny. It's like my trailing spouse.
Yeah, you think your days are busy, right?
Yeah.
I won't tell her you said it.
A couple of things. This has come up. It comes up in community colleges all the time. There's actually a feasibility study the college did in 1999 about adding a child care facility on the Bend campus. It's one of the #1 barriers why folks don't go to school. Just as simple as that. It's transportation and it's child care. The 2 #1 barriers our students cite as reasons they either drop classes or they leave or they're not coming back. So we knew that, and the board at the time, in 2000-2001, predates Alan and me, decided not to be a child care provider. It's hard to turn a profit. It's hard to have experts in that area. It's a little bit of what we call mission creep. It's really not what the college does, is to provide child care. The other challenge that came up was, do you provide child care for the community, for your students, for your faculty? Like, who gets the first choice? Students take classes at different time every term, so if they need child care from 9 to 4, maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays in fall term, well, winter term, they might need it from noon to 3, right? So it's really hard to develop a business model that pencils. So it was sort of shelved at the college, even though we knew this was a huge barrier for our students. In this expansion, it was the #1 thing cited by our community partners and folks in Madras of what they need. What do you need in a new COCC? Child care, child care, child care, child care. So we thought, okay, how can we do this and yet not still run it? Many conversations with partners and Neighbor Impact and the Children's Learning Center to say, hey, what if we built this space, gave you a real good lease deal, had our ECE program part of it, would that work? Again, many meetings, many conversations, many grants, here we are. We just, I think, focused on it as a goal for the new expansion and found a willing partner, which was huge, made it pencil for them to be able to come in and pay a lease rate that's fixed for 10 years. get the board approval to do that, and it's going to be a game changer. And it's not preference for our faculty or students. We know so many of our students and faculty will use it because they need it, but we didn't want to have it just be for COCC students. That felt like a quid pro quo. We wanted it to be for the community.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes?
I was curious what partnerships you have with Warm Springs.
We have about a third of our students at the Madras campus are tribal affiliated. So we have great partnerships with Warm Springs because we've been serving that tribal group for a long time. We've had some missteps probably 20 years ago when we went in and said we want to do this and this and this and this, and then didn't follow up and didn't deliver. So candidly, the college this time wanted to be listening, and again, what are the programs that would serve all members of Jefferson County, including tribal folks? And these are the programs that came up, especially in the medical area. Also, childcare is a huge issue on the reservation. So those two things really rose to the top. We have a great partnership with our automotive program where we teach classes in Warm Springs at the automotive shop. One of our instructors goes back and forth every week. So we have what we think are really good partnerships with the high school, but we wanted to have the center be for the community. And so those tribal leaders, Bobby and others, were brought in early on to talk about what would this look like to serve all students. And so we feel really good that it wasn't built for any demographic, it was built for the community, but with input from all folks. And when a quarter of your students are from the tribes, you need to listen, right? What would help you? How do you be a student-ready organization? Are the times of the classes right? Are transportation issues a consideration? Our computer lab is open to the public, and that actually gets a lot of use from folks that come from Warm Springs just to the campus because the Wi-Fi is good, and the computer lab's free, and it's open from 7 to 7. So those are ways we just want to support the community, whether you're a student or not. That is a great question, and it's ongoing for us to be able to serve all folks in that area.
Yeah, I just see it having a huge impact for the tribe. I think that's really exciting.
And thank you, I appreciate it. It has, too. I will say that, you know, we've been the #1 education source for the tribes for decades, whether it was in Bend or Redmond or Madras, but now to be able to deliver this in the community is just such a game changer.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're at 12:59. I'm happy to stay after if you have questions. We can talk about the weather, we can talk about Rotary, we can talk about Josh. We
We need to talk about Kiwanis.
Hey, yeah, I've got some, we can talk about the Ronald McDonald House. So anyway, thanks for your time, I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
One more quick thing. We are low entry. You can always get involved by volunteering or donating, but we have these brick donation forms. So in that plaza area, we're going to have a brick garden, and folks can adopt a brick. It's a really nice way for community members to be memorialized in the center without having to break the bank. So if you're interested in sponsoring a brick in the Madras campus, let me know. I'll leave these out. It's a really fun way to get involved. Okay, now I'm done. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's see, got a little quote here.
Well, first we need a photo op.
Why first?
Because I love here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Get the right bell.
All right, I'll hit the right bell. Which is the right bell? A little quote here, and I think is appropriate. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Appreciate it. Okay? Thank you.
Zach.
Thank you.
Is that the
Yeah.
right bell?
Good job. Nice.